con te partirò. Sognavi per mari che io non so, non esistono più, con te io vivrò. Quando sei lontana sogno l'orizzonte, mancano le parole. Io sì che sei con me, come a luna tu sei qui con me. Io sono e tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. I live in Noromai, non messo con te, adesso si vivrò con te, martirò. Sonnami per mari, io lo so, non esistono più, con te io vivrò, con te partirò. Sonnami per mari, io lo so, non esistono più, con te io vivrò, con te partirò. Jamaica's own AJ Boots Brown, Conte Partiro, Andrea Bocelli. Time to say goodbye. You would have heard by now across Jamaica and indeed the rest of the world that the RGR Gleaner Communications Group is saying a long goodbye to the late Francois Saint-Just. Condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, fans, well-wishers, all those who have been pouring their hearts out and still trying to come to grips with what has happened. We thank you very much for joining us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Poro 106 FM. And no doubt you join us in conveying condolences as we just did. And may his soul rest in peace and light perpetual shine on his face. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 29th day of the 8th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 29th day of the third month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, satellite derived winds indicate that broad area, the broad low pressure in the central tropical Atlantic is producing winds to near gale force, but the circulation remains elongated with an ill defined center. Although environmental conditions do not appear conducive for significant development, a tropical depression at the very least is likely to form later this afternoon into evening while moving slowly westward and then west northwestward toward the waters east of the Leeward Islands. Closer to home for the rest of this afternoon into evening, expect showers and thunderstorms for western parishes. It's Nutspaz in Russia and Slovak National Uprising Day in Slovakia.
Walk into Marjan's Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15. Are you an accomplished professional with senior managerial experience? Optimize your profitability with a high-impact doctoral degree from the University of Sunderland, offered through the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. Practitioners without a master's degree but with significant senior managerial experience can also be considered for direct admission into the professional doctoral degree program. Apply online today at ucc.edu.jm or call us at 876-906-3000. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Ho scratto il mio cuore che hai acceso qui dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. We'll allow you to express yourselves freely this afternoon. Feel free to call us on 876-922-4112-5. That's 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your voice messages, but you can also call us on Facebook. In fact, call us on WhatsApp. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Welcome to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVANMALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. And so we have a couple of, well, quite a few messages pouring in already. And I believe there was a call just now on the, what was that? Is it still there? Yes, the call is still there from Rohan of Atlas in Ocherius. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I can hear the service in the mic, and I want to share my condolence with you too, and the rest of the family and friends, and also the immediate family of the veteran broadcaster.
Thank you very much.
I want to hear my friend, I'm so sorry about this, and I can just understand how you guys feel.
Yes.
So I just want to say sorry about that, and all the best.
Thank you.
Each and one of you are here for each other show this time.
Thank you very much. All the best.
And we got the service for you're doing.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine, says, good afternoon. My condolences to the family of the RGR Gleaner Communications Group on the passing of François Saint-Just. Donovan Campbell says, good day, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. My condolences to the family and friends of Mr. François Saint-Just. Also coming through on Facebook Live, Bijou in New York. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine is also conveying greetings on Facebook Live. Joy Matthews, good afternoon to you. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon to you too. Beverly in Toronto, Canada says condolences to François, my favorite morning wake up. Still numb hearing such sad news. Rest, François, says Beverly. Jacqueline Simmons says, my condolences. Skeeter Morris says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. It's one of those days we wish not to have. R.I.P. François. Hermine Bowie Bailey says, hello, Mr. Malcolm. Today is my twin girls' birthday, Janelle and Janelle Bailey, my babies. Blessings always. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. I express condolences to François' family and the RGR family. Lorna Foster says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan and all at Power 106. Condolences on the sad passing of Mr. François. May his soul rest in peace. Nicola in Central Jamaica is messaging us as well. She says, good afternoon, Nicola. She says, really sad day for the RGR on the passing of dear François. Nicola, loss for the media fraternity. Let's do the calls once again. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Oh, we lost that caller. Sorry about that. Let's continue with more on your program. In fact, there's a call coming through on our WhatsApp line, same as the text line. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, line says, they said, delay causes regret. And several times I've made an attempt to call Francois and just to tell him that I knew his dad very well. He and I work on a documentary, a sugar documentary, in which he gave me 2 credits on the documentary. We traveled around the islands and took a lot of pictures. And his dad gave me a collection of pictures, some over 100, about 120 pictures he gave me. And his brother, his dad spoke fondly of his sister and his brother, and also Francois when we traveled around. His dad, Chappie. I really missed him and wish the family all the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for calling through.
And to the RJR family, yes.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Dervan. Condolence to the RJR family and Francois family.
Yes. Thank you.
Because I'm always look forward to the party. RJR.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really sad to hear, but like them said, they did not know to the age of the baby because I don't have a life.
So it is.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just looking at the state of the world, I was just looking at the state of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And in every corner of the world, there is some fighting or infighting. I don't know how we're going to get to a greater peace in the world. What is causing all this commotion over the world? Why people blind to power and repressing other people?
Yeah, check it out. It might very well just keep coming back to that 3-letter word, which is man's biggest problem. Ego. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But look now, the EU and Iran and America is about to strike a deal on that nuclear, the nuclear impact as well.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the deal, Iran is going to release them hostages for return some money that was held in American goods.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see what the innocent sometimes get caught in this poor deal,
Yes.
and it's sad.
It is.
Right now, the Israeli Mossad is going to Washington because he does not like this deal. Because he said that we're going to allow Iran to sell oil to back some of his friends that are enemy of Israel, Hezbollah, and the rest, the whole chain of friends that Iran has.
Yes.
But in this world, you got your friends too, and I got my friends.
Well, that is it. And it's usually, well, it usually boils down to who has the greatest level of firepower or nuclear weapons and all the other toys that boys play with.
So that means the game in Jamaica and other places, they just when they can get the powers that be there.
Say that again, Jim.
I mean, the games in the street, Jamaica and other areas, they're just mimicking the powers that be.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, but everybody's just beating up on somebody.
Yeah.
And who's going to pay for the other them?
Yeah, well, there's a hope that those of us who are in a position so to do should try and empower others and and prepare them for what is happening and what is to come. Otherwise, they just become pawns
in the game.
Yeah.
But look now, but sometimes it's just like for being a voice, you get kind of.
Yeah, well, you have to decide what is what you're prepared to give up, and what sacrifices you're prepared to make, and what you're prepared to put on the line.
It comes right back down to that word where we always discuss wills.
Yes. In fact, there's a failure to exercise will, and but it's easier for others because it might be easier for them to wilt under the pressure.
Yes, yes, because sometimes, it have a ripple effect on family, and some people as I love the family where they must be quiet.
Yes, in the name of their families, yes.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Because for you, living in Jamaica now, it doesn't matter if Iran has a nuclear power. I just don't want them to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really should work. I can't say hope, but work in such a way that I don't know how we'll do it. I mean, we have stranger things have happened, but if we could generate a level of groundswell against these things, and then we have that groundswell right across the globe, that could do something. But I don't know if that's wishful thinking. Would love to talk some more, but we have our regular Land Solutions feature coming up. Perhaps you can call us back after the break, within the next hour. All right, thank you for the call. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. Make a move with me, cause your opportunity for success. We offer bachelor's and associate degrees in climate smart agro processing, business administration, computer engineering technology, logistics and supply chain management, criminal justice, hospitality and tourism management, fiber and early childhood education, full-time, part-time, online, flexible payment plans, boarding available at campuses at Linston. Dervan UCC internationally accredited MBA program in over 7 areas of specialization: human resource management, accounting, marketing, healthcare management, and more. Plus, this program is fully accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. Are you ready to begin your next journey of discovery, intellectual growth, and applied learning? Apply online today at ucc.edu.jm or call 876-906-3000. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
You have diabetes? 2 names you need to know: CareSense and Sure Comfort. The CareSense blood sugar meter provides the latest technology and the lowest priced strips on the market, accurate and easy to use. Sure Comfort insulin syringes, pen needles, and lancets offer the latest in needle technology, making it almost painless. One more name: Jamaica Hospital Supplies, 66 and a half Halfway Tree Road. Call 929-2850. Visit our website.
Gen Zers, we're back! Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all, purchase of land, you've come to the right place. call 876-922-4112-5. In fact, today being a Monday and we have Land Solutions, let's give you those numbers again. 876-922-4113-5. That's 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions. So you can send your text messages and your WhatsApp messages to 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road. In fact, 15 Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call ahead before turning up. And the numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950. That's 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. 876-908-3518. If you wish to get in touch with the Ocho Rios office, that number is 876-974-6083. 876-974-6083. And remember, a lawyer is on duty every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Ocho Rios law offices of the firm Brown, Findley and Company. And so I think we've given you all the information you need for now. Let's say hello, good afternoon, and welcome to your host on Land Solutions for today, Attorney at Law, Calicia Findley.
Good afternoon, Dervan. Welcome back. Good afternoon, listeners. Dervan just said I'll be your host for today, Calicia Findley. And thanks as always for tuning in to Land Solutions, your place to discuss anything related to land. Selling land, buying land, getting titles for land, settling estates. This is your place and time to tune in. An article caught my eye over the weekend. I think it was published over the weekend. And it was the Prime Minister speaking on squatting. I think he was handing out titles at a new development in St. Catherine. And the Prime Minister is essentially taking aim at squatters. And I'm going to read a little bit from this article and discuss it. And then we can discuss it. So essentially what the article is saying is that the Prime Minister is warning that his government will not stand by and allow crime and squatting to derail its plan to construct 70,000 houses across the country in the coming years. The article goes on to state further that squatters can no longer be allowed to gain access and build illegally on public property. Let me repeat that. Squatters can no longer, and this is what the Prime Minister is saying, squatters can no longer be allowed to gain access and build illegally on public property. Let me just stop there a second. We all, I think, would welcome this. We know the grouses we have with squatting. But the big question is, how will this be achieved and when will it be put into place? I think I recall seeing some time ago that roughly 20 to 25% of the population, 20 to 25% of the population are squatters. So that is a tall order. A significant amount of us, if some of you listening now, are squatting on someone's property. And I know a lot of us think of squatting as a dirty word, some may not, depending on which side of the debate you are on. But simply put, squatting means living on, taking up possession, occupying property that does not belong to you. So much so that if you are on it for a certain period of time, you can now make an application for title. So that's squatting. It is a big problem. If 20 to 25 of us are squatters, then it cannot be underestimated the issue that this is. So while I'm sure it is welcome news that the government may take steps or will take steps to prevent it, the bigger question is, how will this be done? Let me just continue. Yes, as I was saying, we were speaking at the handing over ceremony of 6 weeks to new homeowners in development in Spanish Town, and that's absolutely wonderful to hear. There are some persons who, no matter how many houses you put up, they believe in going and taking over private land or public land and saying it's theirs. And there are some who are audacious to say they don't own the land, they don't have the title for land, but yet they are selling the land. Further, he said there are some persons who even demand, I've seen this is true, that the government build roads to get to the illegally acquired land. They want the government to put water there. The government didn't even know about it. That's the squatting, and they want title after spending all this money building on the land. It's a real challenge, shared wholeness. To further explain the extent to which squatters will go, the Prime Minister pointed to satellite survey which showed one community in St. Catherine where squatting is prevalent. When we did the satellite survey, we see some massive structures going up 50 times the size of what is here now. None of these people have titles for the land. And he was very clear. He said, I am being very clear when I say we will not allow you to capture and take the public property. How will that be done? It has to be done at the legislative level. So laws will have to be changed. I don't know, please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know of any proposals currently on the table. So this is something that is going to be done. It is certainly in the embryonic, or very early stages. It is a step in the right direction, because how will it affect those people who have been living on land undisturbed when they're ready to apply for their titles? We know that you have some people who are unscrupulous, they're dishonest, they don't want to work for a living, they just go and they want to take what others have worked so hard for. We know that is the case with some people. But what about others who, if they were able to, they would want to buy property, but they are genuinely unable to. So because of this need that they have and their inability to afford housing, some of them will tell you they have no choice but to go and build on a little piece of land that they don't own, they know it's not theirs. So they go, they take up possession of the land, they're there all these many years, 15, 20 years, no one has ever come in to disturb them, no one has tried to get them off. Are we then saying that if those persons have been there for 15, 20 years, and then they cannot apply for title? How are we going to balance the debate? Again, it has to be done from the legislative level. And with respect to housing, it is certainly laudable what the government is proposing in terms of building 70,000 houses, but will these houses be affordable? It's all well and good to build houses, and we see, especially in the corporate era, we see developments going up all over the place. But the average man cannot and will never be able to afford a house. You can find a one-bedroom, even a studio apartment in Kingston for upwards of $30 million. That's ridiculous. So yes, we may take steps to outlaw squatting, but how are we going to address affordability? Yes, we're going to build houses, but what's the sense of having the houses and then persons will not be able to afford them? And again, Yes, we're going to have penalties for squatters. Are there going to also be penalties for persons who abandon their land? Remember, there's always two sides to every story, so maybe three sides. But for the squatters, they'll say, yes, we've been here for this amount of time. No one has ever come into disturb us, so we should be allowed to apply for title, and the law makes provisions for that. Should persons who have land and abandon it, should they face penalties? Should you be able to own land? So many of us want to own property and we're not able to own property. You now have this opportunity, you own land. Should you just be allowed to leave it there for 20 years and then stop anyone from taking it? Perhaps that also needs to be looked into. Let me just continue. In noting that the demand outstrips the homes that are currently available locally, we said this situation has only served to fuel our resolve to ensure that more Jamaicans can turn their own keys. And again, it is expected to deliver over 1,600 affordable units for young first-time homeowners in the near future. All well and good. Let's hope that this is put into, or let's hope that this becomes a reality sooner than later. We know how it is sometimes. We all have the best of intentions. Promises are made, but then years down the road, nothing happens. And over the years, I think successive governments have made promises with respect to housing specifically, because it's such a major issue in the country, but still we seem to be stuck. Nothing seems to be happening. So let's hope that it can be done. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Gen Zers, we're back. Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but you can also send your WhatsApp messages for Land Solutions. That number is 876 881 5254. 876 881 5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Bear in mind as well that the Ocho Rios office has a service where every Thursday you will find a lawyer on duty at the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you're encouraged once again to call ahead. We've given you those numbers already. But if you want to call the Ocho Rios offices directly, that number is 876 974 6083. 876 974 6083. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findley, and we have a caller for you, Miss Findley.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon to you and my teacher and historian.
How are you doing today?
Dervan,
Good afternoon.
don't think me forget, you know, me still listen when we get some business going, me call you here.
That's fine, no problem. Thank
Yes,
you.
man. When something get, other thing get going, me call you.
Sure.
I mean, now you help me push it on. Yes, man, to the land solution, and me thank you for the land solution thing, you know. I am able to advise a lot of people learning from the land solution.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, man, up to recently, we have to deal with a case and a land solution treatment.
Okay.
Yes, man. So yes, now, this matter of this whole land thing, me believe the whole thing needs to be looked into, you know.
Yes.
I mean, if a person live by your land for much years, paying nothing, you should have charged him for live money. Huh?
What if you don't know that they're living on it?
That's what I mean. And whether them know or know not, and them got capture it and live on it, they were paying nothing, so the owner supposed to can sue them for get money. They're supposed to pay for live money.
That's not
Why you have to give it up?
That's not what the law says, but
I know, but I'm saying the law is by
there is actually, hold on a second, there is actually, let us say you have been building your house or you're living there for 15 years and you move in your husband and he's just been there for a short time. Because he hasn't been there for a long time, the court can take that into consideration and say, you're not entitled to 50%, they're only going to give you 10% or 20%. But the law does make allowances for the time that you are there.
come in up here rent. I got serious matter this, you know, me I listen to the program, me I looking at some things, you know. But there's some people that must not bother married, you know what I mean? No, it's not a joke. Because if that is gonna happen, you have children before and all them things, you know?
What couples do is that they where they live, they rent it. They don't own a house. Just to avoid issues with splitting it if the marriage were to fall apart. So some people do a work around and rent a property instead of buying one.
Other people don't know that, may I tell you? You have to know that the average Jamaican, a lot of people don't know these things, you know?
That is true.
Till them get into it, you know? So there's a whole heap of laws need to be changed in the whole land thing there, because no, because the rest of you live on the land, just squat on it. Why didn't you try to buy something in the meantime? And you know it's not yours. Now somebody genuinely own it and come to claim it.
Looking on it.
Huh?
I said that is certainly one way of looking on it.
I know, but it's a one-way street, and me throw the other way to it. You living on nothing, so him should have paid for live funny.
That is true.
That is how Miss Mervis I look funny now. I said no, the one-way street I need to stop. It can't go down one road. Yes. So Dervan, thank you for this program, yeah?
You're welcome.
I'm able to educate a lot of people, and I'm not joking.
Thanks as always.
Yes, Miss Finley and Miss Brown.
Yeah,
I'm able to get some people before they get in trouble. Oh yes, it's not a joke. Serious thing. Let me listen to them. Alright, the Lord bless about the holy Lord, they want to change man and bias too much. Too bias to one side and bias for the wrong side. Alright?
Alright, take care.
Bless up.
Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-4676. 411-325. And the text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. Over to WhatsApp. Can someone go to prison for squatting? If a report is filed that there's a legitimate complaint and it turns out into a criminal matter and there's prosecution of the person, then yes, they can end up in prison if they're convicted of trespassing. But just by someone going and living on property, nothing will happen unless someone files. Persons don't know that someone is squatting on their land until they usually find out after the person is making an application for the title or after the title has been issued. Continuing with our WhatsApp messages, if I have a land dispute in Westmoreland, do I have to use a Westmoreland attorney or can I use someone in another parish? You can use an attorney from any other parish. Sometimes, though, it is easier to use an attorney closer to where the event happens, especially, let's say it's a parish matter and you need to go to court in Westmoreland. It might be easier to find an attorney there, and it certainly would be easier for the attorney in Westmoreland to travel to that court. But you can, like I said, you can use an attorney from any part of the country. And lawyers travel. We travel from Kingston to Westmoreland to anywhere. So no, you don't have to use a lawyer who is strictly located in the parish that you are in. So actually, this is a two-part question. If you can't afford a lawyer for a will, where can you go to find information on how to make one? So if you can't afford a lawyer for a will, where can you go to find information on how to make one? You can buy the will form in any bookstore or pharmacy, and the will form itself sets out the instructions. You can also find instructions on how to make a will that will be valid in Jamaica on the internet. I'm hesitant though about that because nothing beats going to an attorney for advice, because you don't want to see something on the internet and then you misinterpret it and then your will ends up being invalid. You can also consult a legal aid attorney. Many of those consultations, like the Better Legal Aid, I think they're $500 for the consultation. Many others are free. So ask around, but as much as possible, even though it is not absolutely necessary for an attorney to prepare your will, please try to get legal advice because you don't want to end up in problems. Text message. How can squatting be made illegal? As I was saying earlier in the program, this would have to be dealt with at the legislative level, meaning the laws would have to be changed. It's not something that you can just make an announcement and say, all right, from today onwards, it is now illegal to squat on someone's property. Only a change in law will have any impact on that. And as I have also said, perhaps what needs to be looked into is the issue of persons who abandon their land, because you would not, or someone would not be able to squat on property or take up possession of someone's property if that person abandoned or no longer cares about their property. So it is a two-way street. I sold a piece of land several years ago. The person who bought it died, and I found out the land is still in my name on the tax roll. Can I sell it again? No. You can sell it again only if you want to go to prison. It doesn't quite work like that. So what happens is when property is transferred, whether by gift or sale. So let's say John is selling the land to Mary. Mary has paid in full for it. Once the transfer is done, the tax roll should be automatically updated. Sometimes, however, for whatever reason, it's just not. it may not be immediately updated. It may take several months, several weeks, months, or years to be updated. But simply because it's not updated doesn't mean that it is still yours. I mean, that would just be a clear case of fraud, and that's why it sends many people to prison. People who sell land more than once, and it happens to. I think people think they can get away with it, especially with unregistered property. Because unlike registered property, with registered property you have a title. With unregistered property, sometimes persons have no paperwork at all. Sometimes many persons, all they have is a tax receipt that shows their name. So they think because the tax roll has not been updated, because their name still appears on the tax roll for years to come, that they can continue selling it. And that is absolutely incorrect. It is fraudulent. You will get in trouble if you do this. So in your case where you have stolen land and you found out now that the person who bought it from you has died, leave it alone. It's none of your business. You got rid of the land several years ago by sale. Don't be greedy. This greed might make you end up in prison. Leave it alone. Get our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-325. The text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. To call the law offices of Brown, Finlay and Company, the numbers are 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518, and Facebook.com/Land Solution. This is Land Solution.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3 o'clock. There's a retirement crisis in Jamaica, with only approximately 10% of the working population saving towards retirement. Many people do not participate in a formal pension plan, such as contract workers and the self-employed, and some are not eligible for a government pension. Every member of the workforce has the opportunity to participate in a pension plan and secure a monthly income for their retirement. Join Real Business every Monday at 9:30 a.m. for an informative discussion with Peter Rose Hall, Managing Director of BPM Financial, discussing the importance of retirement planning and the solutions to move Jamaica out of this crisis. Retirement Wealth Creation is brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 881 5254. 876 881 5254. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/ja. The company is headquartered in Suite Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Halfway Tree. Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. That's shop number 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building. And you're encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at the offices of Brown, Findlay and Company, whether in Winchester Business Center or at the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. You can also call the Ocho Rios office directly, and that number is 876-974 6083 876 974 6083. A lawyer is on duty every Thursday at the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Thursday. A lawyer on duty at the Ocho Rios offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. Once again, here's attorney at law Calicia Findlay getting some commendations here. Calicia coming through. Damian Pollock says, I always enjoy listening to Land Solutions with the lawyers, especially with Calicia Findlay. Her voice is so amazing and she's so highly intelligent. Great work of keeping us informed. Over to you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan, and thank you, Damian. Thank you for listening. I will continue to listen. Over to the WhatsApp.
Sorry, we were losing you a bit there. Maybe you could.
Hear me better now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, let me go again. When the land valuation office goes to value a property, do they provide a valuation for the land alone or the land and the house if one exists on the property? What is the procedure? For property tax purposes, when the land valuation department does their valuation, they value the land alone, the unimproved value of the land. So they have their professionals, they study for this, they go to school, they're well trained, well qualified, and they come up with a value of the land, what they refer to as the unimproved value of the land. So even if there's a house on it, a nice 10-bedroom mansion, they do not consider that for property tax purposes. They just consider the value of the land. And this is one way Jamaica is different from other jurisdictions. In many other countries, when it comes to property taxes in other countries are based on the value of your land and the type of structure you have on the land. So I know for many of us, we say that our property taxes are high, especially with the recent increase. I think it was maybe 3-4 years ago that there was an increase in the property tax rate. But compared to other countries, our property tax rates are still significantly lower because the government only looks on the value of the land. So again, they look on the unimproved value of the land. When you are selling a house, however, you get your own valuation, a private valuer, and they look on the value of the land and the house. So let us say for tax purposes, the unimproved value of the land is $200,000. A valuer may say the market value of the land could be $1 million. They will determine that. If there's a house on it, of course, it will be significantly more. So don't be confused between the two. For selling, you take the market value. That's how much you can get on the open market. That's the improved value, meaning the house and the land together. And for property tax purposes, it's just the bare bones land that's looked at, the unimproved value. And if you're not sure what your unimproved value is, you can look on any of your old property tax receipts and it will tell you there what the unimproved value of your land is. Continuing with our messages. I have been trying to serve my husband divorce papers but can't find him. Can I just leave it somewhere I know he goes to all the time? You can't. You have to get a special order from the court. Because if you leave it there without permission, then your husband can dispute the fact that he was served. So the law says when you're trying to serve any documentation, any legal process, it should be personally served, meaning it should be given or handed to the person. If they don't want to take it, you can throw it down at their feet, throw it down in their vicinity. But if you can't find them, especially when it comes to divorces, if you can't find them, you have to go to court and apply for what we call substituted service. That's another way of serving them. If you can't find them at their house, let's say, and it's quite common in matrimonial matters where parties are no longer in contact, so you really genuinely don't know where your spouse is. You can't find them. You can go to the court and ask for an order to serve them maybe at their workplace or at a friend's house, somewhere you know they're frequent. And, you know, sometimes the last resort, if you've exhausted all those options, you can apply to serve them by publishing a notice in a newspaper. If you look at the legal notices section of the newspaper, you will see that. And let me just say, when it comes to divorces, if you are what we call the petitioner, the one applying for the divorce, you cannot personally serve your spouse with the divorce papers. You can accompany someone and point out your spouse to the person, or someone else can do it, a process server or someone you know, and someone who knows your spouse can serve it. If they don't know your spouse, you can give them a current photograph. But for divorces, you yourself cannot hand it to your spouse. Again, our text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. Email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. You may also send us a message on Facebook. That's facebook.com/landsolutions. To the text line, is a will valid if it's witnessed by 3 people? And what if it's witnessed by 2 people and both of them have died? Okay, so the first part, is a will valid if it's witnessed by 3 people? Yes, a will is valid if it's witnessed by 3 people. You don't need any more than 2 people. So as long as you have 2 people, that's fine, the will is valid. If you happen to have a third person, the will is still valid. The court will just not take into consideration the third witness. And remember, if a will is only witnessed by 1 person, it is not valid. It's not a will. And the second part, what if it's witnessed by 2 people and both of them have died? This is actually quite common, especially for older wills. So a will is still valid if the 2 witnesses are no longer around, whether they have died or they just cannot be found. It's still valid. When a will is being probated, the court sometimes asks that the witness signs an affidavit, a document just confirming that yes, they were there when the will was being prepared and the testator signed it in their presence and the presence of the other witness. If the court requires such a document and both witnesses have died, then the court may ask for another type of document to speak to the execution of the will. They could maybe ask for an affidavit of handwriting. So someone who may not have been at the will, at the signing of the will, but someone who is familiar with the testator's handwriting and their signature, that person can prepare or sign that document confirming, yes, I knew the testator for 10, 20 years. I was familiar with their handwriting, and this is their handwriting. So again, if you have 2 witnesses and the will is valid, the will remains valid even if the 2 witnesses have died. I know you need to do a lost title application if a title has been lost. But what if you lose the new title? Is it the same procedure? Yes, it is the same procedure. Funny enough, this happened to a client of mine. Lost a title, did a lost title application, got their new title, and a couple years later they lost the new title. But yes, every time a title is lost, you do a lost title application. There are no limits on the amount of lost title applications that can be done, but I would say if you keep losing your title, then perhaps you need to address how you are storing your title, where you are keeping it. Perhaps you need to give it to someone else for safekeeping, put it in a safety deposit box. But yeah, same procedure. You have to state what you think happened to the title, where it was usually kept, who may have had access to it, whether you have a mortgage or there's any other lien on the title. You have to state all of those in your lost title application. And you have to be very specific. You can't just say the title was usually kept in my house at 123 Avenue. you have to say that the title was kept under my mattress, in my bedroom, or in my filing cabinet. The title's office will want as many details as possible. If you think the title has been stolen, you have to get a police report to accompany the lost title application. If it was destroyed by a fire, you have to get a report from the fire station. I think some people think that once a title has been lost, that you must get a police report. You do not have to get a police report. You only need a police report if you suspect it was stolen. I think some people, and this delays lost title applications. So someone may realize that their title is missing, and before they take steps to file the lost title application, they go to the police first, file the report, and then wait to get the formal report, and that can take some time. With lost title applications too, they have to be advertised. You don't first do the advertisement. We prepare the lost title application, we file it at the titles office, then we wait on the titles office to give us direction to apply for the to put the notice in for the lost title application. I remember someone came to me once, their title was lost, and they came with the advertisement, and they thought we needed the advertisement first before we could make the lost title application. No, you don't. Also, if your title was lost, let's say in Canada while you were overseas, we have to place an ad, not only in local newspaper here in Jamaica, but you have to place an ad in Canada, somewhere near where you think the title may have been lost. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 3:15.
Gen Zers, we're back! Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876 881 5254. 876 881 5254. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office in Ocho Rios, more precisely, Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up. Call ahead and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. If you wish to speak with a representative at the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, you can call 974 6083. That's 876 974 6083. And remember, a lawyer is on duty every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. A message from our Facebook page. Can you sell a house if you have outstanding property taxes and if you still owe money to the bank? Yes, you can. You can. And it would just be like any normal sale. So when the sale is finished, you would the money outstanding to the bank would be paid. It's a little bit of an involved process, and I don't want to get too technical. But let us just say that you owe $5 million to the bank, and your purchaser is getting a mortgage. That purchaser's mortgage company would pay you less what you owe to the bank, or if your purchaser is not getting a mortgage, we as the attorneys, once we get the money from your purchaser, we would then pay off your existing mortgage. And with respect to the property taxes, we can pay that once the sale is finished. But you have to, when the sale is finished, you have to show to the purchaser that property taxes have been paid in full. And of course, the title, we can't transfer the title unless the mortgage has been paid off. But certainly, yes, you can sell a house if you have property taxes or mortgage outstanding. In fact, a lot of times too, especially, times are hard. And a lot of persons sometimes end up selling their properties because they want to get rid of the mortgage that they have, or they can no longer afford to keep up with the mortgage. So if that is your situation, you can feel free to go right ahead. I don't have money to get a lawyer, and the last time I went to court, the judge told me if I don't come back without a lawyer, she will still go ahead with the matter. Is this fair? And what does, I think this should be sine die. What does sine die mean in court? Let me just address the last question first. The sine die is Latin for without a day. So usually when the court adjourns a matter, meaning they put it off or they reschedule it for another day, usually they'll set a date. So today's August, they may set a date for December or January. When we say that the matter has been adjourned sine die, it means that it has been adjourned without a date. So if you want to continue with the matter, you will have to file more papers in court to bring it before the court again to get a date. And usually matters are adjourned sine die if the court feels that the parties aren't making an effort, or maybe the parties are trying to settle the matter amongst themselves. The first part of your question, I suspect, so let me just go again. You are saying that you don't have any money to get a lawyer, and the last time you went to court, the judge told you that if you come back without a lawyer, she will still go ahead with the matter. Is this fair? Well, what can I say? It may be fair, it may not be fair to you, but it may be fair to the other party. Because the other party may have a lawyer, they perhaps have been showing up at every court date. Perhaps you have been coming to court, but you don't have a lawyer. It happens quite frequently. Someone will come to court and say, Your Honor, I don't have a lawyer, I'm trying to get a lawyer. The judge will say, all right, fine, I'll adjourn the matter for another month or 3 months, come back with a lawyer. That day comes, you come back without a lawyer, it keeps happening. So it may not be fair to you because you perhaps genuinely cannot find a lawyer or you cannot afford a lawyer, but it's certainly so try and find a lawyer. If you try and find a legal aid attorney, or maybe see if you can settle the matter. But yes, the court has the authority, they have the power to go ahead with the matter if they've given you a lot of chances and you still don't come back with a lawyer. So yes, they can most certainly do that. I'm selling my land and agreed with someone that they would buy it for $7 million. That was 1 month ago. Am I bound to that person? Can I sell it to someone else at a different price? If you haven't collected a deposit, if they haven't signed any sale agreement, then no, you are not bound to them. If it is just word of mouth, if it's just a fair, regular conversation, I'm selling my land for $7 million, somebody says, yeah man, I like it, I'm going to buy it, I still come back with the money, or I will put my lawyer in touch with your lawyer, that is not binding at all. What counts is the exchange of money and the signing of documents. So no, you're not bound to that person. In fact, you said that was a month ago. I'm not sure what could have happened. Maybe the person is delaying, maybe they're stalling, maybe they've changed their mind. But to be waiting on someone for a month and nothing, absolutely not. You can go ahead to sell it to someone else. And the second part of your question, can I sell it to someone else at a different price? Absolutely. You can sell it to someone for less, and you can sell it to someone for more. Doesn't matter. The fact that you may have told someone $7 million a month ago does not mean that you are bound by that amount to the next person or even to the previous person. So let's go back to the first person. You say that you had agreed with them $7 million, you haven't heard from them. You can go back and tell them, listen, the price has gone down or the price has gone up. You are not bound by it. Again, you're only bound once they've paid a deposit and once the sale agreement has been signed. If I am selling my land for a certain price, this is maybe from the same person. If I'm selling my land for a certain price and the purchaser gets a valuation for a lesser amount, can they sue me? Absolutely not. You can sell your property for any amount. So let us say the purchaser gets their valuation and it shows that their property is valued for $5 million. But before that, you had told them you were selling them for $8 million. All they can do is complain and decide if they want to go ahead and buy it, if they want to negotiate a lower deal, or if they want to just say forget about it. So they can't sue you. Absolutely not. You can sell for whatever you want. My neighbor is erecting a house and I think she has come over on my property. Can anything be done? The first thing that you need to do is to get a surveyor's identification report. Even if you have known the property for 70, 80, 100 years and you are certain that there is a breach, you are certain that they have come over across the line, as an attorney, we are not going to act unless and until we have documentary proof. And taking a picture of the peg or taking a picture of the fence is not going to help. We cannot act on that. So the very first thing that you need to do is to get a surveyor's identification report. Once we have the surveyor's identification report and it confirms that the building or the fence has come over on your boundary, then we can contact the other person. The first thing we would do is write them with a view to remedy. Say, yes, listen, here is this report. It shows that you have come over. Please remedy it within 10 days, 30 days, whatever time frame we agree on. If that is not done, then we can take the matter to court. We can explore other options. But that would be the very first thing that needs to be done. I know a lot of you are resistant in getting the surveyor's identification report because you don't want to spend money on the surveyor. You're saying it's not your fault. You're not the one who did this. But we have to have some documentation. So if you can come to some agreement with your neighbor as to who will bear the cost, If not, you may just have to end up doing it because let's say the matter ends up in court. Which again, you can't go into court with just word of mouth. We're going to need the surveyor's identification report. Also, if you're in a situation like this, you have to act quickly. Because if you allow the problem to remain for more than 7 years, not 12, in this case, when it comes to boundary discrepancies, it's 7 years, then your neighbor is entitled to stay. So act quickly. If you see any improvements going on, have a surveyor come in to check the lines to make sure that there are no encroachments. If I can get to another message, how do you file for legal separation in Jamaica? We actually don't have legal separation in Jamaica. You know, I know it exists in other jurisdictions, and I think the purpose of legal separation is to put an effective date for the separation of assets and liabilities. You know, when you when you're no longer be responsible for your spouse's debt, but in Jamaica, we don't have legal separation. You don't get an order or paper from the court saying that as of this date, John and Mary have been separated. No. You just have to comply with the requirements for divorce. You have to show that you are separated, living separate and apart, and you could still be living separate and apart and living in the same house. And then, only then can you file for divorce. So you don't have legal separation in Jamaica. Perhaps it's something that we could look into, the legislation could look into, but it's definitely not something we have in Jamaica. And again, for those of you who feel like you want to be divorced, you have to show that you have been separated from the person. And again, separation does not mean a physical separation. It's more of a mental thing. I think I'm out of time for today, but feel free to keep your messages coming. Thanks as always to Dervan and the team. I've been your host for today, Khaleesi. Take care.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30. Solo l'orizzonte manca le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me su le finestre. Io sfatto il mio cuore che hai acceso. Dentro me la luce che ho incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. I'll see in all con te, adesso scrivo con te, partirò. Tsunami per mani, e io lo so, non esistono più, con te lo vivrò.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, But you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Here's a call from a listener who goes by the moniker Bunty, calling us on the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marco. How are you doing?
Good afternoon.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing
good
you.
Afternoon to all the listeners. Mr. Malcolm, just bear with me for a few minutes. The Water Commission at St. James, Stonehenge District and Bottom Stonehenge at Stonehenge, they used to get water from the Grande River. And Water Commission and the MP and them, can they do something about every individual as household get water?
I don't understand.
Well, when I was a little boy, we used to have a fan pipe there that we could go and get water.
Yes.
And now they had a Grande water, they have to take vehicle and go for water.
Oh, sorry, the line has been breaking up. Can you try saying that again, please?
I am saying the water coming and the MP.
We lost you at MP. Hello?
I am saying, hearing.
Yeah,
we used, as a little boy, we used to get water at Bottom Store. We used to get water from the Grande River.
Yes.
And then now, few years, I don't understand what the politicians they are doing, and I'm not calling on behalf of any of them. I'm only asking if they could arrange with the Water Commission to get water from the Grande River to Stonehenge and Bottom Stonehenge for the householders.
I'm sure that's possible. It will just be a function of whether it is on the government's priority list and the capacity of the government to fund such a development.
Mr. Malcolm, as I say, when I was a little boy, they used to have standpipe that we used to get water there, and now I don't know what happened. The householders them don't have any water.
Maybe
the
people of the area will have to make representation to the National Water Commission, supported by their political representatives.
But Mr. Malcolm, majority of them sitting down and doing nothing, don't stay in the office and get AC. Look,
Part of that would be your fault and the fault of the others who are being impacted. It's not expected that you only vote assuming that you do, or you don't vote at all, and then in 5 years' time, you wait for 5 years before you say anything or do anything or agitate or advocate, as opposed to holding their feet to the fire throughout the term that they serve.
Mr. Malcolm, you know that Jamaica we are, and these people.
That's a part of the problem. The very thing you just said a while ago is a part of the problem, because we accept it. We accept it, as you said a while ago. We know how as Jamaicans we are. I mean, what does that mean?
For when they even go to your house and take you out when you're crippled go vote, them the business you do after that.
And you're just figuring that out?
No, Mr. Malcolm, I can tell you something. The only person I don't run to is mankind for nothing. The Almighty up there support me, right? But what I'm saying, these representatives, they don't remember the people them after the vote.
Yeah, but that is not a breaking story, because this has been going on for a long time in this country. And because people have just stepped back, essentially, and just resigned themselves to, well, I saw the thing set. Everybody knows there's such Jamaica run. Hey, no better herring, no better barrel, and so on and so forth. These are some of the expressions and attitudes that have served to cripple us as a people.
Yes, but they must look on performance. They must look on performance. That's what they must do. But some of them have the stupid mentality. Then consider them as a PNP, or them father, and then not change. Stupidity. Look for performance. Second thing I talked to you about Spanish Town. You ever traveled through Spanish Town?
When was I last traveling through Spanish Town? I think around Denby time. I was in and out of the area.
Mr. Malcolm, I talked to you about how I don't know who the council or the MP, but you have some water cycle all about, especially when rainfall. It's like pig living there. So you want to tell me the council or the MP or whosoever in charge don't see those things?
Well, it was brought to the attention of the mayor, the state of the town, and the mayor put the ball firmly in the court of the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Mr. Malcolm, now you talk about the cemetery them already. You see anything done about it?
Hardly. Not that I've visited all the cemeteries, but the usual ones that you can't escape, that you can't ignore, like Maypen Cemetery.
Yes, and the thing I want to ask you, these people that go around pertaining to when something raise, what do you call them again? Price inspector. They're still in existence?
I don't know about that. No, what I know is that the Consumer Affairs Commission has, over the years, and I have no doubt that that is continuing, in the case of checking prices, they would visit several supermarkets and compare and contrast the prices and have them published in the newspapers. They also usually do it for back to school time, especially to match the prices of the textbooks that the students will need to use. So from that standpoint, there is some amount of surveying that takes place to help the consumers to make the best choices and to save some money.
Well, where I bring up this, Mr. Malcolm, I got a Featherbed Lane gas station the other day to buy a small little pack of coffee. Most of the shops them sell it for $50.
So why did you go to the one that sold it for more than 50?
Malcolm.
Yes, we lost you at $50. I was asking the question, why, if the others were selling it for 50, if the others were selling it for 50, why did you go elsewhere, which was more expensive?
Yeah.
Why?
You break it.
No, it's not me. I'm not breaking up. It's the line.
You're breaking up.
No, the line is breaking up, to be accurate. The line is breaking up, not me.
Oh, the line breaking up. Okay.
Yes, no, I'm saying, why did you go and buy, why did you go to the place that sell the expensive coffee? Why not go to where you knew it was cheaper? No, I think you might want to hang up and call us back, because the quality of the connection seems to have deteriorated dramatically. Call us back, please.
Thanks, Mr. Malcolm. You have a great day. From that hearing, the lines realize that.
Yeah, call us back if you're able to. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I want to find out the balance. I don't hear him again.
Maybe you haven't been listening. He's been around. We've had him on up to recently.
Yes, sir. Okay. I don't hear him. I called you. I'm a good friend. I like to hear him.
I hope he's listening and will call to appease you.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Take
Yes,
care.
sir. Take care.
Bye bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, taking your calls on 876-922-4112 876-922-4112 Text line same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. Here's June coming in from Oslo, Norway. Good afternoon, Miss June. How are you?
How are you doing?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
Everything all right with balance. Me send me to me and them talk today. Not
That's good.
like, but you know, yeah, it's okay, but the radio station is not so good. Some here and they are not hearing it. Power 106 I'm talking about. Some here and they are not hearing it. Some here and they are not, you know what I mean. Just like the young gentleman just said to you. But me glad to know some of the other way and now we are me I get through sometime, but most of the time. So balance all right. Okay, we leave that there. Now, how are you doing?
Oh, we're giving thanks for life.
Me too. Me tired. Me just Dervan this weekend we have a party with Jamaica party.
How did it go?
Oh Lord have mercy. If you want to see how it go, you can check it out. You know if you check it out. It was so wonderful. It was so great. It was so much food. It was so much everything. Oh my God, I can't complain. But I'm here, the granny Peggy, you know.
Hold on, don't move. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
You are saying no, you're the Granny Peggy? What does that mean?
You come in like if me no come, then I'm happy.
Oh.
And when me come, then I want me to go. My granny Peggy, I just drop me a milk.
Or is that a way of saying you're the life of the party?
Yeah, what me gonna give one drunk because me not keep up your time. Me remember one guy from Pastor Show did call me because me talk too much, and maybe people understand me call me mother hen.
Oh.
And you know that word follow me all over till today. Children are friends, they love it and they like it and make full of me. Because you know what that means? Mother hen take care of our chicken.
That's right.
Nobody can come take your chicken them unless you can. Mother hen take care of our chicken. Anyway, Dervan, you alright? Anyway, I'm not going to talk not much more. Going by, you know, you figure Jamaican organization in Norway.
I'll look it up.
And you will see what we do in the weekend. That was yesterday, Sunday.
I hope
Saturday,
you were behaving yourself, but I guess I will find out when I watch.
When not now, you are busy. When you have time.
That's what I'm saying. When I watch, I will find out if you were behaving yourself.
Me love your man, me a mother hen. Me husband, they all love. Okay, wait a little bit down. Don't go yet. I'll say hello to you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm all right.
Good too. How do you say good evening? I'm trying to remember. I know good morning is Guten Morgen if I were speaking German. How do you say good evening in Norwegian?
God kveld.
Say that again.
God kveld.
God clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. One of these days between you and your wife, you need to teach me some Norwegian.
It's a good call.
What's that?
My husband said good call.
Good call?
Good call.
Good call.
KVLD.
I think I'm going to need to see some visuals as well in order to learn this language.